All right, I really hope this works properly this time because it works every morning. Oh, it's working. Awesome. All right. Hey guys, welcome back to an emergency stream on what the hell just happened with the price of Bitcoin. I sent off this link to like 5 trader friends, and one of them already joined, who I did not tag on Twitter because this person is anonymous, but trust me, he's an incredible trader. So he's already on this stream with me. I will introduce you to him in a minute. This is Leonardo. Okay, so the image isn't popping up, but that's okay. And I'm not really sure where to begin. You're still setting up your charts, right, brother?
I'm good to go whenever you are.
Okay, cool. Let me do my thing first, and then I'm gonna get you in first to comment on everything I say, and then followed by your own charting analysis. So we are gonna go straight to screen share. Matt McGregor is still sleeping, but the moment he wakes up, because he's in Japan, the moment he wakes up, I'm sure he will join us as well, and hopefully Mark Wood, who you know pretty well, will join us as well. We got Chris Dunn already joining us. Holy shit, this is going to be a great stream. So I'm going to have to go kind of fast. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back to my Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it these days. And I literally unpinned my tweet that I've had pinned forever. And I'm actually going to go and pin it back. I unpinned it this morning, and it's gonna get pinned once again. Where the hell is it? My exit pin. Jesus Christ. Oh, I must have missed it. Wait. There we go. Here we go. This one. Okay. Because I'm talking about a specific wording. Still think sustaining. Sustaining is important here. Sustaining $100,000 break this year is unlikely. This is actually getting pinned. I unpinned it this morning. I don't care what the trolls say. It's going to get pinned once again. Now, the other thing, so I'm just getting the the disclaimers out the way. The other disclaimer is I am now 75% bullish invested in the market. To be more specifically, when did I re-enter? Remember, I exited my trades. I exited my trades right here. It's unfortunate I didn't get to exit, and right here, meaning on Friday at around 10 o'clock in the morning, or right before 10 o'clock in the morning, I exited at just under 98,000. And the reason I didn't wait for the 10 a.m. reversal to the upside on Friday is because I had to go to the airport, and I didn't want to take a risk of not being able to properly log into my account. So, and I am trading on Interactive Brokers, and I am trading the ETFs. That's all I have to work with. Now I'm trading options, by the way, which makes my life better. And this move, this crash tonight, doesn't affect me as much as you guys would think. And I would have gotten a much better exit. I planned to exit this day, but I was hoping for the 10 a.m. reversal. I probably would have gotten out around 11 or noon. I would not have caught the top. I'm not that good, but around 11 or noon, probably on this shooting star candle should have been my exit. But I don't have 24-hour markets to play with. When were my re-entries? Trying to remember here. One was on Friday on a stream with Mark. So that would be back here. I partially re-entered the market. It was Friday, the half day on Friday, and I re-entered lower than my exit was. So I re-entered here before market closed on this pullback around noon. So I re-entered just above 97K for approximately 25% of my planned position. I added to that position on a stream with Mark yesterday, and that took place when did we stream? Yesterday afternoon. That would have been on December 4th. And I got in on this pullback over here. No, right before the pullback. The pullback happened after market close. So it happened right around here before. It was during the stream. It also happened right around 98, the same area I originally exited. And finally, I did re-enter additionally today, but I'm still not 100% in. I took another quarter long, but I waited. This time I did wait for the 10 a.m. reversal. It came at exactly 10 a.m. again. And I waited for a pullback, but it kept pulling back and pulling back and pulling back. And I entered right under. I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait under 100K. And I re-entered back here today, this afternoon, and then I kind of stopped paying attention to the market. And the final entry took place back here under 100K on a limit order, because I did a limit order, and then now we just had this crazy capitulation, and this is what we're going to discuss. So as disclosure, I am now in approximately 75% of my intended position. And at the moment, this is the only asset that I'm trading. And my average entry is at approximately 98 and change. Okay. So I'm in pretty much the same area that I exited, but when I initially exited, I anticipate a bigger pullback. And this crazy action today is actually making me bullish. Because I just spent too much time talking about this, I'm going to get my guests in here. This is a massive capitulation. This just wiped out anyone that was extra leveraged long. This is the kind of move that is needed to create momentum to the upside. This kind of move happens in one of two ways. One, it could have happened a few days ago or a week ago, on a blast down into the mid to low 80s or as low as 73, or it can happen within a single candle. And also, guys, don't forget, I talked about something like this happening. We went back in time. I might have even done it on Chris Dunn's show. Now, remember when we talked about this crazy candle, when I also actually, I don't think I exited on this one. I don't remember. The crazy candle took place earlier in the year with the ETFs. It was right here, this January 11th. There was a massive drop in one day. And then we also talked about it as what happened. I already forgot the name because I found it back then. Maybe I'll find it again. There was a time in the last bull run-up where these massive things happen. They go completely unnoticed. People ignore them because when you go backwards in time, they don't look like they were massive moves. But in real time, they were absolutely massive moves for like 20% within a couple of days. And right now, this measured move on today's candle is 12% within basically a 12-hour time. Leonardo, you came on first. Chris, you know what? How about this? Chris, Leonardo, how are you guys on time? Does someone needs to go first because they have their own streams, or how are you guys looking? Because this would depend on who I'm having to go next right now.
Yeah. I'll actually love to go first because I have some other duties to perform, parental duties. So I'd love to just get in there, talk about this, and then stay for a little bit longer. Then I have to go.
Okay, cool. So jump in for 5-10 minutes. You know what? You don't even have to do a briefing. You don't even need to do an intro on who you are. I know who you are. That's all that matters. So I'm going to stop the screen share. Jump into your charts. Tell us what you think about the overall environment. Anything that I said. How are you looking at this from a short-term perspective? How are you dealing with it the next 24 hours? And how are you dealing it for the rest of the month? and for next quarter.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, like you say, you're kind of expecting something like this, and I have been also expecting something like this, because I've been in Bitcoin since pretty much the very beginning, and when we get into a bull market phase that we break out the way that we have, we start getting these bullish corrections that are very violent to the downside, and they clean everything up, and then we're immediately back up where we need to be, and then we've been reset to continue on. So that kind of fits the picture that you had. Now, the way this played out kind of caught me slightly by surprise today, because I thought the ability for it to do that after the move yesterday was gone. But classic, right? I'll go into my 4-hour just to show that it's one of those things where you raise your stop after finally it breaks out. So I move my stop up to here. This is the yellow arrow, and classic. It pushed almost to the stop, but it's a higher low. Nice bullish candle formation for now. I like the way this looks. So I think this kind of resets everything to provide us more upside. Now, the way I played this move, I had been in from 55.8 way back when, back there, and I took profits right here. This is the check mark on my sell targets for 58% move. Then I took profits right here at my other check mark for 71% move. And my next one is up here at the 109 level. And
hey,
I was able
Leonardo,
to
try to say prices. I know there are visually impaired people watching, and also some people
Okay.
listen more than they watch. So you may not need to provide dates, but maybe if you can say a date and a entry price, and then a date and an exit price, that'd be great.
Okay, so average entry 55.8 from pretty much the whole summer accumulation. I kept buying dips, and on November 24th, reached my first target at 58%. That's where I took off partial size of the position. And then I had another target above us at 95.9, which I took profit on November 20th after that. And then we dipped into this zone where I had the green arrow here. That's the buy level at 92K. And then once we broke out into a new high today, I had raised my stop just below that buy over here, just in case to secure those gains and keep everything going. And look at this, it's within a few bucks of that, right down towards the beach. But again, a higher low. I like that. This is bullish structure remains. I'm not worried about this. I actually think this is healthy, and I will continue to look for the next move up towards this target here that I have labeled right now, which is basically 1099 inside the top of the sky here on the MSR. And as things stand, I actually feel really good about it. Now I'm gonna go into another chart, which is me from being a cycle trader, and I track the 60-day cycles, which quite a few people do track. I think Bob Lucas has been the one who made the most famous 60-day cycle. And I had to tag this day 30 here from way back here from the low on November 5th. So I've had this tag here for today for almost 30 days on the dot. And I had been looking for a dump into it towards the EMA 34 over here in blue through this whole consolidation. We kept chopping and chopping and chopping. And the closer we got to it, the more bullish I get, because I don't want to be caught my pants down after the mid-cycle low that we get at day 30 going into the second half of the cycle. And sure enough, today we got the pump out of it. So it looked like it was a time-based correction. We didn't get a dump into that area. We made a higher high, got into 100,000s. And here it is. Now we got the price-based correction right down into the day 30 low, higher low from this level here. Happy to see that. So that satisfies me that we've reached the midpoint of the 60-day cycle and sets us up for another couple weeks of upside into this area here. You can ignore the price here. This is a timing thing. As we get towards the last the second half of the cycle, a day 45 area is an area to start to look for tops and closing positions. They can also get extended as we get towards this red zone. But the closer we get to day 60, the more fearful I get of the correction coming. And if we're up here or higher, closing to the red zone, I'll be starting closing positions looking for a larger correction. Probably one of those, 15, 20, 25% corrections we've been getting all the way along. We haven't had a big 30% correction yet. I'd love to actually see that to really clean things up, but not holding my breath for it given the demand, but love to see it if we get it. It would be a nice opportunity to sell high and then buy at a 30% discount for the next move up. So essentially that's where, yeah.
So just to summarize, you see this move just now as probably marking the low for this cycle that topped the day basically I exited on Friday the 22nd. And while, I had already assumed that the low was made a little earlier than I expected and a little higher than I expected, the way we just bottomed, you completely agree with me that this low is likely to stay, and it's time for this belief rally off of this low just now.
I agree. It's exactly what I think, because it is a higher low from that low. So that low that you assumed was the low is the low. We have not gone below that. The bullish structure is intact. We're above the yellow, which is a 10-day moving average. We're just above the inverse Fisher bands that we see here behind that. And as long as these things are stacked bullish and we start closing above those bands and remain in this bullish setup, I think we have room to go all the way up to a day 45 high. How high is that going to be? I don't know. It could be 109, it could be 110, 115, 120. I don't know. But that's the timing zone. I'll start to get really careful for a much bigger move down into here, which right now is dated as January 4th for the next low. And you can see the last time I tagged the low was over here for November 5th, and the low came on November 4th. So this cycle analysis is actually very accurate predicting the major lows. And I think that we're going to get another nice low within this red zone coming up towards the January 4th target date that we have. Another thing I want to show is that last night after we broke out, I'm just going to magnify this a bit. I assumed that was the low, so I created my fib targets above, or possible tops can be formed between the 272 and the 414. And if you look right here, you can see that wick right into it. It was rejected, and boom, right back down. And we have all these supports below us that caught this move, and we're back above it. Love to see it close above 98 before the day's over, but it's only 45 minutes left. And if that happens, I'll just have to delete that one. But those are my next targets above us from that low, 112 and ultimately 120 area as the places that we can get into. So, and the last thing I'll show is actually one of my other favorite indicators. This is the IFSR, which Mark also uses. This is on the 12-hour. You can see we got really overheated here pretty quick, and we hit the orange line targets. And I tried to buy below the middle of the green, and look at this. It tagged the line below us at 92K perfectly and bounced right back up. We're above green again. This is a bullish stance. This orange candle is not the best thing, but I'm going to wait and see into how it actually closes before I can make any assumptions from it. But either way, it's still a bullish candle formation, and I like it. So, and also when you look at inverse Fisher, it's above zero line and it's green. So I have to remain bullish until this crosses back down and is bearish. So
gotcha. Yeah,
that's what I got for Bitcoin.
I actually think that 98,000 close in the next 45 minutes I give that a greater than 50% chance.
Really?
And I want to, and actually want to see a close above 98K as well. I would like for this candle to be green, but it doesn't have to be green. I mean, it's already a doji candle. But I think people are buying this up, especially as Asia is waking up. Anyone that didn't get annihilated is probably going to be buying this up, and I'll explain my reasons as well. Yeah, I'm happy to let Chris Dunn join if you were done with your analysis, Leonardo. By the way, Leonardo does not have a YouTube channel like Chris Dunn has. Please follow Chris Dunn on Twitter. Feel free to pull up your YouTube channel as well. I'm drinking water for now. I see you grabbing. Oh, it's a nice wine, The Prisoner. That's a good wine, man. Nice little blend. But
I gotta re-pour it here.
Has a channel on social media. Leonardo is more anonymous. You've all, well, not all, but some of you probably seen his work, but it's definitely been anonymous behind the scenes. And but he is going to be coming out with a subscription service with Mark Wood and a few other people. I may be involved in that myself. That's probably slated to launch in Q1. We'll give you guys more info on that. All right, Chris, Florida Leonardo,
what's up, man?
Any final statement?
I just want to take a minute and pause and just say, man, I love this game. Like, how awesome has the last week been? I mean, one, we're at 100K ish. Two, we just saw a massive liquidation event. Like this is just so fun, man. And I don't know, I just love Bitcoin. I love doing this. I love being here. I love trading it. I'm just like having the time of my life right now.
Well,
what about you, man? How's it going? Where are you at?
People might be upset. You seem way too happy because some people just got wrecked. And real quick,
Let me tone it down. Let me act like I'm sad.
Yeah.
So I was a little nervous because I actually took an anticipatory breakout yesterday on some futures. And as you know, the damn washout happened when futures were closed. And I had some stops around 94, which would have triggered if the futures markets were open. So as of right now, like I'm still in my long from yesterday. Satoshi has blessed me.
Chris, that is dumb luck because people may not realize you did the CME futures, right?
I did a combination of that and some Coinbase.
So what people need to understand is the CME futures only close for 1 hour a day. And literally, this is dumb luck that Chris' trade did not exit because it didn't happen to be trading in that 1 hour in a 24-hour period. God damn.
Dude, Satoshi has blessed me. At least so far. Who knows? I mean, this shit could still reach down and grab me, but yeah, man, that was wild. You want me to pull up some charts?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Let's see. So
also, do you agree that this is the type of washout move that sets us up really nicely for the upcoming holiday season?
Yeah. I mean, dude, this is so necessary, right? Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys said it already. Like this kind of liquidation event is totally normal and necessary around an emotional price level like this, right? Like if you just look back at what happened at prior massive zones like 1,000 or 10,000, like you get this volatility because everybody zones in on the price level and they obsess over it, and there's a lot of trading around it. And so you get people putting stops real close, you get people trying to buy the breakout or short the top, right? So it creates this volatility. I should have absolutely just been stopped out, but as you can see, like on the CME, it closed for an hour, and then we didn't get that wick down to 92 like we got on spot, right? Like this is Coinbase, which wicked down to 92 and 55, right? $92,055. And what it looks like to me is that we've got a new magnet price forming. I don't know how long this is going to hold for, but 95 has been like an over under for the past couple of weeks. And with the market kind of trading scared like this, we could absolutely kind of flatline, I think, through Christmas. Obviously, timing this stuff is hard, but now that we've kind of cleared the order books on both sides, if the stock markets slow down and Bitcoin slows down, I think we could absolutely like chop around in between like the low 90s and 100. What do you think?
I agree. That was my view the whole time. When I exited on November 22nd, that Friday, my thought was that we're not gonna break 100K, and if we do break 100K, we're not gonna be able to sustain the 100K, right? So breaking 100K by a couple of dollars, or by a few hours. I mean, yeah, it's great. You get to pop champagne, you get to have your 100K parties, you get to stamp this date for the future. But there is a difference between touching a price and actually, sustaining the price. And I felt that sustaining the price, even if we do break it for a little bit, is not enough. But the way we've been consolidating over the last 2 weeks, and the way we did eventually break 100K by going all the way to 104 and doing it in such a style that's creating an ascending triangle, I
Yeah.
actually started to believe that this move was sustainable. And then within a matter of hours, it did exactly how I originally envisioned it. Now, the way I entered this market is I used options, and I used options that have a cap to it, which means that I don't want to explain exactly the way I did it because I'm already, buying like hundreds of options at a specific expiration and
Mm-hmm.
of IBIT. So, I mean, yes, it has thousands of options as liquidity, but it's guys, I don't shill anything. I have an options course. The strategy I'm using is part of it. Go buy it, and you get to learn this way. I hate people doing copy trading. So, and in my system, as long as the price consolidates in the $90,000 range, I am profiting. The time decay is not hurting me the way I did it. It's actually helping me. So
What were you doing? Were you selling premium, or were you directionally biased, or?
I'll text you.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
I'll DM you. And
Cool.
but so I am personally okay with this, and yeah, I'm just watching that 98K. Let's see if the candle closes green.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just so reminiscent of like the second 1K attempt when China banned Bitcoin for like the 13th time. You remember that one?
Yep.
So let's go back to there. This is what Bitcoin loves to do around these big levels, right? Is just chop people the hell out. And come on, there we go. Right here. So look at this day, right? Today kind of looks like this. And I was telling my community, I'm like, guys, don't expect like 100K just to like break, and then we're going to be in like this free for all, and we're going to go to 1 million overnight. Like the most likely scenario is pain on both sides of the market, right? We're gonna run stops, we're gonna have traps, we're gonna have a lot of volatility, and like this was the low of this day was what, 970 or so about a 35% range in a day. So nowadays it's a little bit less, but this is totally normal, I think.
I mean, that's what I was saying. I was looking for that 35% correction, 30% correction to occur at some point. We haven't gotten it yet, but I think we're going to get one. This may not be it today. It may take another couple of weeks, but I think we're going to get a big one at some point, and it's going to scare the shit out of people. They're going to call, bull market tops, only to reverse and to go a lot higher afterwards.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the quote unquote like healthy thing would be after, a 50% move like this, after the Trump pump and the Gensler gone celebration, it's like, the market needs a pullback eventually, and I'm there for it. Like I think, a very high probability situation is actually a retest of the prior all-time high break in the low 70s. And I know that thought like freaks a lot of people out, but if you look back at, historical price moves, that's a pretty reasonable expectation, I think.
And you show 2017. It's what's reminding me of right now is 2017.
Which part?
I mean the beginning part, but almost the whole thing, the way the whole market has progressed is reminding me more of a 2017 cycle rather than the last cycle.
Yeah, I think I
Right.
agree with you
There's
there.
a very similar looking candle right there as well. What's the date on that? Is that March?
March 10th. Yeah, March 10th, 2017. This was this the China ban situation? There was a lot of craziness happening here, and that day just cleared a bunch of stops on both sides, kind of faded for a couple weeks. And yeah, this was, I believe, almost a 35% pullback from that pivot top. and then took,
Yeah.
quite a while to grind back.
Go back to December 2017. I'm just be 2016, just before the big move. In there was a doji just like this one before the whole thing started moving. Do you see that? Go a little bit farther back. Right
here.
Right there. That's the one. And I think we may end up with something like that.
So the ascending wedge just kind of keeps squeezing, and then eventually we get the follow through.
And then we top out in late December, early January, the way I was targeting January 4th as my target date. I don't know what that date topped in. What's the top of that one?
Of 2017, it was December when the CME futures launched. To the day they created this top.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, well, that's really all I had really to share, was just that idea of the kind of the 95K price magnet, and that, this is totally normal behavior. I'm still net long. If we get a pullback, a juicy 35% pullback, I'm there for it. That would, a 30% pullback from that pivot top would put us at a retest of the prior all-time high. But if it wants to hold up and just continue trending from here, I'm there for it as well. So buying dips, buying breakouts. Tone, what do you think? A breakthrough 100 by the end of the year, or no?
Sustainably, maybe after Christmas. I just think we're gonna hover in this area. I think this is just about to scare some people, and I think we're gonna consolidate some more. I mean, we can break 100K in the next couple of days and then pull back down to 95, 96. Now, in general, I hate double bottoms. This just created an absolute perfect double bottom. I mean, yes, technically, if you have a bot, you're going to consider one to be a higher low. To me, that's a double bottom. But the daily close is going to be so much higher than the prior daily close that it makes it, that's the part that makes this not even a real low. Like, to me, the secondary low is actually 2 days ago, and this is just one of those wicks. So that just happened.
Yeah.
Like, the current wick is unfortunate, but it only affects people in highly leveraged positions. It does not affect people that are more dollar cost averaging, more more patient, or happen to be trading during trading hours, and what happens after hours is completely irrelevant. This is what's happening with my position. So if this candle goes back to 98, 99, as far as my portfolio is concerned, nothing happened. But I understand reality, and some people got wiped out. And because some people got wiped out, it makes those that don't trade in that kind of the dangerous style. It rewards those people, right? So I know so many people that are like in love with like Binance copy trading and BitGet copy trading, and a lot of them were profiting on shitcoins. I have no idea how shitcoins did, but a move like this can reset portfolios to zero that have been making, let's say, 20% a month for like 6 months straight, right?
Yeah.
So, and the more of those people that got wiped out, the more likely we are that this double swing low is here to stay. But to me, again, this low almost doesn't count unless we start to see daily closing candles lower than that yellow dotted line you have. Where's that dotted line?
Yeah, this is 95, what I think could be a magnet forming. So I agree with you. And I think tomorrow will be really telling. Like, if we start to see volume fall off a cliff through like now and Christmas, and we start to just kind of grind like this, like, I think we're gonna, basically just be inside of this channel probably through Christmas or maybe the end of the year. But I mean, something weird could happen tomorrow where we wake up, and stocks also have been participating in this upside move. So if like the NASDAQ is up, 2 or 3% tomorrow, will Bitcoin go with it? And then like just basically get us convincingly above 100 to where we like close above 100 and then turn that into support. That's a possibility too. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the most likely situation is consolidation inside of this, and maybe we just go over under the 95K magnet for a while.
Right. So I would only start to get concerned if we start getting daily closes below 95,000 and we start to approach a new daily closing swing low. And if we get, let's say, 3 or 4 days in a row in consolidation of daily closes between 92 and 94,000, I would expect a capitulation candle down to where that blue moving average of yours is. I have no idea what it is,
That's a
but
50. Yeah.
right. So I can envision if we are having multiple daily closes between 92 and 94, I would expect that floor to break. I would adjust my positions accordingly. I would probably, maybe take on some protective puts, maybe even cut the long trades, but that would be my only concern. Until that starts happening, I remain we are consolidating with a bullish bias for a breakout early next year to 120.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. Tone, let me give you the screen sharing back. Didn't mean to hijack your stream
No,
here,
it's
man.
great. No, it's great. I screen share. I do this every day on this channel, right? Like
Yeah.
it's great. We're pulling back down below 97. Man, we got fairly high. All right. Leonardo, you have anything else to show us? Otherwise, I'm gonna do the screen share.
Let's see here. The one thing that I was noting is that I had that triangle drawn, that we broke out above it. I was gonna share it again. Hold on a second here.
Go for it.
I'm just trying to
Guys, I'm gonna hop
find.
off. Thanks for having me on here, Tone. Appreciate it.
All right, cool. Thanks, Chris. And yeah, I'm still trying to convince
Yeah.
Chris Dunn to join us at the financial summit in Maldives. He's been to a financial summit before, maybe even 2 of them. I'm trying to remember. And yeah, it would be an awesome addition if I can convince him. And definitely check out his channel. I've been on his channel as well. And I ran across Chris Dunn in like 2013, just in the early days of Bitcoin. So he's been around for a while.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. We'll catch up. See ya.
Later,
See ya.
Chris. And guys, Joe Saz might be joining us as well in a bit to show us what the order books are doing. And Mark Wood is in the live chat. Not sure why he's not on the stream yet. And unfortunately, Fibbo can't make it. And the invite went out to Socrates and Ugly Old Goat as well. So hopefully they'll get to join. All right, Leonardo, let's go back to your charts.
So just this triangle here, that we broke above, that got me pretty bullish, and then we went below. I mean, like I said, this is classic Bitcoin, but it's trying to close above it again. We'll see how it goes in the next 25 minutes on the daily. This is obviously an indecision candle, and like you said, it can continue consolidating and chopping. Chopping through here into Christmas is my alternative scenario. I still remain more bullish than I am with the alternative scenario. And also notable is that down here we have this indicator called SCMR that I've been an early user and still use to this day, has very strong support showing a 89.3. And I would have to be closing below that for me to get really concerned at this point. And until that happens, I'm going to be watching the level very closely. We close below that, and I think that 50 SMA he talked about is coming at the 82 level. But for the time being, if you can close above this triangle today, I'd love to see it continue on. And like I said, chop is the other alternative that I have as a scenario. And looking at momentum,
kind of crazy how we just avoided the SAR, the lucid SAR.
Yeah, and also this is the squeeze momentum, and it was actually turning around earlier today, and now it's back to black bars. I really need to see this bottom out and start turning around like this to get even more bullish. For the time being, if we close like this today, I'm gonna start looking more and more at that chop mode. Even MACD is not really that strong yet. Look at this. It's like even with that move today all the way up top, it's like it's still not really turning around. So the bulls have some more work to do here, and the 98K level is really the area we need to see it close above. And like you said, barely avoided that lucid SAR. Look at that. It's just very, very It's like what, $100? Not even
Yeah, something
$200.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. And that was my 100K party image from earlier today.
Yeah, there's parties not far from where I am. I'm debating if I should go. All right, I'm gonna jump on screen share real quick. I want to show you guys the hourly MRI chart. So look what happened the last 3 times we had MRI buys. Here's an hourly MRI buy from December 2nd, led to a very nice upside of 2,500 upswing. I mean, unfortunately, we did pull back down and made new lows. That would have made me exit the market. The next MRI buy came in perfectly right on the candle of the low, and it went up nicely, 3,000 up move for 3.5%. The next 1 hour MRI buy came the candle after the low was made, and that led to some awesome upside. And here we are again on a 1 hour MRI buy candle. That should give us a little bit of confidence. I'm sure the 4 hour looks very, very terrible, that it's ready to go up. And remember, this was my initial expectation. And I really thought that we would consolidate some more inside this ascending triangle before the breakout taking place around December 7th, December 8th, at the end of this weekend going into Monday. Maybe I should have dragged it out. I wasn't really paying attention to the days, but this was kind of my projection taking place. And guess what happens when you overshoot? You tend to, overcorrect. But at the end of the day, we are still inside this triangle if you ignore the overshoot and the undershoot. So I still think that this triangle will play out. I am still bullish here, and I only turn bearish with closes, new closing lows, probably on the daily. As far as the 4 hour is concerned, I would need a new 4 hour swing low for first level of concern, which would show up below 95,000 on a 4 hour close. It would also be below 3 moving averages, including the 128. I don't know how important that 128 is on the 4 hour, but that's where we're looking at new lows. The same line pretty much holds for the 1 hour. I would lower it a smidge. I wouldn't use the ultimate low on the 1 hour candle because that's just a bit of an anomaly. I would use the best fit line, only breaking 2 candles here. So on the 1 hour chart, the concerns become, surprisingly, it's a little bit lower. The concerns become below 94,700. And as I stated earlier, on the daily chart, I would need a new swing low below the 20 period moving average. Coming in, once again, I'm drawing my best fit line over these 3 lows. I would need a close below 94,500 on a daily close in order to be concerned. Let me move that box over so we can see this candle in its full glory. I think a candle like this is more bullish than bearish, but it really needs to, it can't close any lower. I really want to see this candle close above 97.5. Ideally, I would like to see this as a red candle, but I would like to see this as a red candle, not a green candle, but as close to, a thin body as possible. So the opening of this candle is at 98,750. So any close above 98 is a perfect close for me. I want to see that 98 close, ideally as a red candle. If it's a red candle, everyone's going to see a red volume spike. They're going to misunderstand the volume that actually happened. My volume will be yellow, which means it's neither bullish nor bearish, but I see this as more bullish than bearish for all the reasons we stated.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm full agreement with pretty much everything you said. So,
all right. General stock market, how did it do today? A little bit of a pullback. I mean, is this confined to the Bitcoin market? Did did shitcoins do anything? Like, do we know what happened? Did like some exchange fail? Like back in the day, like Kraken used to have issues and BitMax had occasional issues. Like, do we know if this was an exchange failure? If it was a statement? Like do we know? Is there a realistic technological catalyst here that took place? Do we know? Any news?
Yeah, I'm looking for. There's been nothing on Twitter, nothing on the news sites. It's just there's only the news of the actual event that just occurred. Dip to low 90s, wipes out 300 million longs in minutes. But there's no
Right.
other news that would support that. I just think maybe things got too frothy and it was time to clean it up. Classic bullish correction.
I mean, Ethereum didn't really do anything. Man, these things got reordered because I clicked the word symbol by accident. They got reordered by, I hate that. They got reordered by name instead of by market cap like I had them. I think
It's too bad you
Binance
can't
has
save it.
I know.
Yeah.
What is this? Nothing else looks out of the ordinary here. There are no shitcoins with any kind of market cap, really, right? So, like, what are we comparing it to? Just Ethereum, maybe? But Ethereum didn't budge. Oh, it's a weekly chart. Hold on. No, Ethereum didn't budge.
No, nothing.
This
It was
is
just Bitcoin.
nothing. Yeah. The volume is high. Look at the volume. But the move on the candle is irrelevant. Well, in dollar terms, it moved 7%, but that's normal Ethereum day. I guess I have no idea what a normal Ethereum day is. The volume is massive. And it's funny, on this morning stream, I talked about Max Payne. And this is why I pay attention to Max Payne. Max Payne in the options market, and I said it this morning, something to keep in mind. I should cut that clip out. I said, watch out, because maximum pain happens on a Friday close of $53 for IBIT. And if you're curious what the ratios are, so basically, this is what you're looking for here. When price was 101,000, the price of IBIT was 57.6. So that's basically the ratio. And let me do this. That's pretty much the ratio of price of Bitcoin to price of IBIT. So if you want to know what the current price of Bitcoin is here in terms of IBIT, here's the current price of Bitcoin and updates in real time. There's the Google Finance formula. I don't know what exchange they're using. You just take this number and you divide it by that ratio, and you get the approximate price of where IBIT would be right now at 55. And this morning, the price of IBIT was 59, and I made it very clear that big institutions are going to try and drag Bitcoin down as close to 53 as possible this Friday, because that is Max Payne. But this Friday is not the big kahuna. I'm sorry. This is it's also 53. It's 53 this Friday, but it's 54 this Friday. It moved up. It was 53 earlier this morning. Now it's 54. So they don't have to move it down as much. And but the big one is the one on December 20th, and that one is still 53. So that's the push. The push is to get IBIT to be at 53 on Friday the 20th. And if you want to know what that number is, so you take 53, equals 53, and you multiply it by this ratio, and you get the price of Bitcoin that the market makers are going to try to create. That's a price of basically $93,000. Okay, so that's the price of Bitcoin that the market makers would try to create in order for maximum amount of option speculators to lose the maximum amount of money. So this is how you do the math. These things don't always work out, but the option market, it's going to be controversial what I'm about to say. Option markets stabilize the price of Bitcoin, even though sometimes this stabilization requires a 10% correction in a matter of hours, right? Because the stabilization takes place on weekly closes. And as the price of Bitcoin slowly rises, max pain slowly rises. And when max pain gets out of whack in both directions, there are additional incentives to bring it into this price at weekly closes, but especially monthly closes. But in the options world, the monthly close is not the last day of the month, it's the third Friday of the month. Leonardo, I don't know how experienced you are with options markets. I don't know how my audience is experienced with options markets. This may be over the heads of most people watching me. And in order for you to understand what I occasionally talk about, you need to go to tonebase.com. You need to click on on-demand videos. And this is a very reasonable price at $1,500 for a 3-day course to understand the options. Even if you don't trade them, understanding how they function and how they work and how they influence your positions going forward for the rest of your life in Bitcoin is probably a worthwhile investment if you are a trader. That's my pitch. All right, Leonardo, comments, questions?
Yeah, I think
live chat.
the options course is good, even if you're just trading spot. It gives you an understanding of direction as that key date of the third week of the month closes in that you talked about. So yeah, highly recommend it. I understand how they work. I don't trade them myself. I'm more of a spot person, but either way, yeah, good call on getting everyone to watch that. And look at this. We're 11 minutes away. It's only 97. We're not good. I don't think we're going to get the 98. I'd love to see it, but not quite there.
I'm not planning to turn this off, but the hourly, the hourly is looking like it's ready to bounce. I'm very surprised that, well, yeah, look at this. A bit of divergence here with the RSI, with the CMF. The MACD flipped on this massive hourly candle.
CMF
yeah,
didn't even go negative. Didn't even go negative. Look at that. It absorbed the whole thing.
It did. The CMF is a smidge low. I would like to see that move up with some volume. Let me go to a lower level time frame here. I want to see some volume situations.
Yeah. We'll look at those 10-minute candles, and I'm going to step off.
Yeah. Man, I like this 10-minute candle chart right here. It's making a bit of an ascending triangle to me. Man, I want to see 98. I want to see it close at 98.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. Now you get a green star candle on a 10-minute. Well, the alphanumerics bang box definitely reset. Matt McGregor might be joining us soon when he wakes up. He's gonna go, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
And this is the 15-minute. Where's the, oh yeah, we're way below the exponential 128-day bang box reset. It does need to get back above it though. Back to the hourly. Yeah, it's flirting with 97. Should close above 97. 98 is going to be a stretch.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Tone.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, you might be coming on a little more often every now and then. And guys, I'll keep you posted when Leonardo and a few other awesome analysts that have been trading for a long time, and I know their analysis is top notch, will be launching their paid subscription service. I think it'll be a video service, but eventually it could also be in written form.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Hope everyone has a good Thursday, and we'll see how this thing unfolds over the weekend. Have a good one.
Yep. Oh, I gotta send this link to Joe Saz, guys. Let me shoot that over to him. All right, there he is. Okay. I did send to Ugly. He hasn't seen it. I tagged him in Twitter and I did send to him. Okay, and we're above 97. Come on, guys, 6 minutes. Let's see. Let's see if we can close above 98. I'm still hopeful we close above 98. Let's get that 10-minute chart. It's looking great. 10 minutes looking great. I'm just gonna clean it up. 10-minute looks like it's ready to break out. I like it. I like it. All right, I think Joe Saz is with us. Hey, Joe, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, good. Tell us what's going on in your life while we watch this 10-minute close for the next 6 minutes.
Cool. Yeah, all is well. Just kind of been living the good life out here in the country. Been doing a lot of bowling. Got into a bowling league, me and William.
Oh
So
yeah, what's your average? What's your average?
right now it's 159, but
Really?
yeah, I had like yesterday, my best was a 180. So my average is like kind of it's building up.
Nice. Do you bowl with the curve or you still
Yeah.
you bowl straight?
Yeah, I'm a two-handed bowler. So I have a 15-pound ball, and it has like a pretty like a certain core that makes
You meant two fingers, not two hands, right?
no. I the two-handed bowler is in you use those two fingers and you don't have a thumb hole. So you
Right.
yeah. So you throw with two
Right.
hands like that. Kind of top hand's more of like a guiding hand, I guess.
Right. No, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah. Man, so that was my highest average was I think for a year of was 161. So you're almost
Okay.
there. And
Yeah.
I definitely remember bowling a 102, but I'm sorry, 202.
Hell
But I
yeah.
think that was my second highest score. I think I
Yeah.
beat 202, but I don't remember if it was like I don't remember if I broke 210 because it was a while ago, man.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm so spotty these days. Like if I go bowling, I might like I'll break 100 for sure.
Yeah.
Like if I bowl under 125, it'll be disappointing, but I can still randomly bowl like a 155, 160. So it's but I
Yeah.
definitely can't average it.
Yeah, I got that. Especially with house balls, man. I got a special thing and every, good equipment. And so it's a thing to do. It's the winters are starting to get cold out here. It was like 2 degrees with the wind chill just the other day. Last night was kind of like a blizzard. So yeah, it's getting getting to be that time of year where we have a lot of fun indoors.
All right, so it looks like we're not gonna break 98K on the close. That's what I was waiting for. We looking like we had a nice 10-minute candle. Look, if we break it in the next hour, uh, I'm gonna be okay with that. It won't make much of a difference on where this daily candle closes. To me, this daily candle doesn't make much of a difference. The tone-based value will remain yellow no matter where it's gonna close right now. That means this is a neutral value spike. And based on the overall structure, if we, ignore these wicks, this is still a very, very bullish pattern. Once again, Joe, I don't know if you were watching us earlier. My view is as long as the daily remains above 94,000 at the close over the next few weeks, we remain in a bullish posture. I still think I remain in my bullish positions. Uh, but my only concern would be daily closes below 94. I'm gonna stop my screen share. Go ahead and pull up, your workstation with Trader, and let's see what happened with the volume. I'm really curious.
Yeah, actually the volume was oh shoot. We should let me pull up volume. Actually, I don't typically look at it, but there was
Oh,
something.
I meant order book. I just said volume.
Okay, there was something really interesting. There was about a 2000. I took a picture on my phone. I haven't really been on my computer much. Let me just take a look at this picture because I want to tell you how
Hey,
crazy.
before you do, right?
Mhm.
So I took a pinned tweet down this morning or this afternoon even. And that pinned tweet was about me exiting on the day of the top, expecting a correction and or consolidation for the rest of the year,
Mhm.
and specifically stating that we even if we break 100K, we will not be able to sustain 100K for the rest of the year. I really thought the bottom would be a little bit lower than the 91,000 it was, but 91,000 was my most optimistic correction.
Mhm.
And based on what happened in the last 24 hours, I had assumed that that correction was there to stay. Now, this new move, I'm still assuming that correction is here to stay, is just, wipe some people out. But
Yeah.
in general, I didn't expect a sustained 100K break. I actually didn't even think we'll break 100K. And if we did, I only expected it to be there a few hours. So far, my prediction from November 22nd is playing out as I predicted it that day. What was your view around November 22nd when we made the all-time high at 99 and a half? Were you still bullish at that point, or were you cautious like me?
I think there was, all right, November 25th, there was some gold mine that fired off before this all went nuts. I got November 20th right here. You can see the screen share.
Mhm.
Well, okay. So this is always a fantastic anomaly to see the gold mine fire off, leading into some serious moves to the upside, right? It probably fired off around this 96K range. So that would, let me put this on a 30-minute chart just so we can see a
Oh, wait, you're
couple
looking at
points.
November, yeah, November 20th. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
So right before November 22nd, which was I guess the date you were mentioning, right?
Right.
Um, so before that, we had some good bottom signals, good stuff, heavy noise overhead. And if any of you out there are trading order book stuff like this, I would say be prepared for your sell side signals to fail consistently. I mean, that's what happens in a bull market, right? And the opposite in a bear market. So we had the gold mine fire off on around nighttime, November 20th. That would be nighttime here in the Midwest. So that was a strong indicator to me that things were looking good for a move to the upside. We came back and checked that same area, had consistent support. Not only that, but we had tradable signals, actionable signals here, 1 to 2.5% bands going into the Ruby mine territory stuff. So this was looking really good. And this resistance, if you notice the whole time, this entire time that we were running around here, we had a consistent buy side dominance, bid side dominance in aggregated perpetual markets. The signals here that we're seeing are aggregated spot markets. So the perp markets, I would say, tend to be the people trading with more money, tend to be smarter. They were pretty convinced this whole time. You could see even as we came into this dip that they were soaking this up, man. They loved this low 90K stuff. And before too long, we had that massive pump broken through the resistance. And now basically the only thing we have overhead is this sell wall at in the 110,000 aggregation here of 3,400 Bitcoins. So we're talking like 300 million on Binance alone. So there's definitely some stuff to beat. We need to beat the sellers overhead, right? There's definitely some work that needs to get done. But there was an awesome thing going on. There was a massive spoofer, a 2,000 buy wall spoofer. After all this happened, there was a guy chasing the book and holding the line. You could actually see him. This is probably him right here. It was a spoofer. He pulled his order. He didn't get eaten. But yeah, there's people like this is definitely starting to get emotional, and that's something that I like to see. I like to see that
Can you
volatility.
zoom in? Can you zoom in on the current area?
Yeah.
I'm really liking this order book right here. There's definitely more buyers stepping up, and it looks like the real paywall is at 110,000,
Yeah.
and the paywall, the sell wall, and
Mhm.
the sell wall at 100K has been pretty much eaten up. You have a couple of
Oh
people
yeah.
that are now trying to sell at 98, 99,000, and I think those people are making a mistake. Like waiting a few $1,000s to sell a few $1,000s higher. If we get back to 99,000, we're probably going to blow right through 100. Either you got to panic sell right now, or there's no point of selling it right under 100K. It makes no sense.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty clear that the emotional phase of this market is starting to take to rear its head, let's say. And let me ask you this real quick. I'm trying to find the show that we're on right now, and just in case there's any comments, are you on your typical YouTube channel?
No, it's on the Financial Summit.
Oh, Financial Summit. All right, let me check that out. Okay, so yeah, I agree. I think people are there's a lot of mistakes. Like this is the second that something beautiful happens in the market, something amazing, something crazy, whatever. Um, there's a lot of winners and a lot of losers, and one of the biggest things that we see happen is losers turn one mistake into two. And I'm seeing a lot of that type of psychology going on here. Like you just said, is it really worth that $1,000? I might have just missed the market by a hair, and am I really gonna be that stubborn that I'm going to bite myself badly over something so trivial. Let me pull up the Financial Summit. So yeah, totally agree with you on that one. Okay, let's see here. Bitcoin
Yeah,
bloodbath.
Asia should be waking up. Let's see how they handle this.
Okay. And hello everyone. Good to see you all. A couple of familiar faces there. Hurley, what's up, man? So yeah, this whole situation, the break to the upside, I want to comment on what you said about the rest of the year, because I think it's very important. Obviously, this is largely the result of Trump re-election, and that stuff's looking very good for markets. This whole motion really started in early November. I think November on dollar in dollar value is the largest monthly candle we've ever had in all of Bitcoin's existence. So, excuse me. I think that this is only going to continue. We have the post-halving narrative to work with, which usually leads to a parabolic market cycle, parabolic bull market. And then we have our, fundamental kicker going active. And I do believe that, the effect of the election had it made its statement through the month of November. I actually was caught off guard a little bit by this move above 100 in December. I thought this wasn't going to happen until probably after he got sworn in. So I'm thinking, with this kind of momentum, yeah, most likely we go sideways. I think this was a good little short squeeze, a good little shakeup in the market. Um, and I do think that our low end is probably 95, 94K through the rest of the year, and our high end is probably 99K. But now that we've broken 100, it could very well be similar to what we saw in the 70K range, where we broke the all-time high in March, right? We broke 70K, something like that, March of 24 here, and we mostly went sideways between 70 and 60, but a couple times we went to 73, 71, 70, and then it was mostly 69 and then we broke to the downside. We had like maybe a high 40 for a minute. But yeah, I think that's probably what we're looking at for the next month. And then January, I think there's going to be enough fundamental kickers to really change the game. And, Trump tweeting about Bitcoin is huge, breaking 100K. That was crazy. So, I mean, pro Bitcoin regime coming in, as opposed to the straight up anti crypto regime, which was the Biden administration. So, yeah, I'm very bullish overall for the next year to into 2026. I am bullish. I think all of next year we are looking good, and then I think maybe toward the end of 25, early 26. But I like this momentum, and I don't even think we've gotten started yet. I think this is just some warm-up shots.
Yeah, I think I'm a little more bullish than you right now, and I will remain bullish as long as we maintain and don't close daily candles. And I mean that in multiple terms, like a single daily close below 94,000 like tomorrow or Monday, Tuesday is not going to scare me crazy much unless we go all the way and close like below 92.
Yeah.
But multiple closes between 92 and 94 would get me concerned. But until then, I still think this is great for the markets. And as far as the Trump administration goes, the only thing I like about the Trump administration so far in the month since election is his policy on Bitcoin. That's the only thing to cling to. I actually hate everything he's done since getting elected, other than his Bitcoin policy.
You don't like everything else except his Bitcoin policy?
Yeah, I pretty much hate every single person he is trying to put into office, other than like RFK, Vivek, and Elon. They're great, but they're not government positions, right? As far as government positions are concerned, I like one or two out of 30 that he's already stated. So I think he's doing a terrible job selecting
I
people.
can't say I'm deep enough in the rabbit hole with that stuff. And I think the main thing that I'm happy about is I was expecting to go to war, be at war this month, you know, like either World War III or a civil war or both. So I'm just happy to be like bowling with my son, you know. And you like that video I sent you?
Yeah, no, it's great.
Isn't that the cutest thing? He bowled a 99 yesterday, little 6-year-old William.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, dude. So he's in a league too. They do 3 games for their league. He bowled like a 60, a 92, and a 99. He's getting real close to break. He's broken 100 once.
Wow, that's impressive, man.
Yeah, 6 years old. You should see these kids out here, Tone. You got 10-year-old girls bowling 198s.
No.
I kid you not, dude. It's like, and then I go to the kids league. I watch the kids play, and then I go to adult league, and all I can think about is how I'm losing to a freaking 10-year-old girl bowling a freaking 198. You know, just crazy. Throwing like a freaking 12-pound ball max. You know, and I'm just like over here looking like a nerd.
Hey, so it looks like Ugly Old Gold's joining us. Joe, you want to come off screen share for a minute?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Ugly, do you have audio?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have video because Eddie's sick today, and so I can't wire up all this stuff.
That's all right. Can you do screen share?
Not really, not here. I can try.
That's okay. That's
what do
okay.
you want me to screen share with?
No, it's fine. I'll do screen share. So can you see my screen share when I do it?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you tell me what to pull up. A lot of people were telling me about your like the I know I haven't had you on our shows in a while, but when the market was correcting for what felt like 6 months from the March top of 73, 74,000, it ultimately bottomed for a few hours below 50,000, reaching a low of 49. Throughout that stretch, to my understanding from my followers, you were looking for a $40,000 low. And what do you see now? And how did you navigate the fact that it didn't quite get as low as you expected?
Yeah, I mean, that was, that's the worst case scenario was the 40,000. And I don't know, I don't remember the time that I said, hey, that's off the cards now. I don't think that'll happen. But I did just do a very thorough study on this breakaway gap. And again, what I did is I studied the tradition, I mean, the 24/7 market, which really is an innovation that Bitcoin brought to the markets, because before that, we really did, every nation, whether it's Hong Kong or London or the United States, they had trading hours, and we were closed over the weekends. And so we always had 5-day trading weeks. And that all changed with Bitcoin because, of course, it's proof of work and we need the 24/7. And when they started the CME exchange, they have kept the legacy hours. And so if you look at the CME chart, it's completely different, particularly for moving averages, because it just throws all the moving averages in a whole different light. And so one of the things I look for is we had this huge 6,000. I can send you the link if you want to go to my article, but there's this huge $6,000 gap that we left on the CME. You need to put it, I think it's BTC an exclamation point. Let me see if I might be able to screen share. I can pull it up. I'm just not
I don't know.
sure.
I'll find your article. I'm going to your site.
Oh,
Was it
it's
on
on the
Medium or
article.
was it on your website?
Yeah, no, it's on Medium. You gotta go to Medium. We haven't converted it yet. We eventually put them. Yeah, no, it's not on the website. You got to go to Medium. Can you get on Medium?
Yeah.
Let me send you the link. Okay.
When did you publish it?
On Monday, I think. Now those are all you're gonna. Let me send you the link because they don't show the latest. I'll send you the link. Hang on.
Oh, 3 days ago. I found it. I got it.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, Ugly? Hey, it's really good to hear your voice, Ugly. It's Joe over here. Joe says.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, basically, you can see the gap. And I wrote that article, and one of my readers said, "Hey, did you know there was a gap back in 2020?" I said, "No, I didn't." And so now there's that big old gap. Now that's a huge breakaway gap, and you've got this huge cup and handle now. And so, the question always is that gap going to be filled? And if it is, then we're in a bear market. But the last time we gapped, if you go and read the article, there's the next chart where you see we went from okay, there's the other gap that we had. Now this is back in I don't know what year that was, 2020.
2020.
And again, yeah, in the article I outlined the actual numbers, the difference between that gap, and we actually went up to over 60,000 twice before we filled that gap. So if we follow the pattern that we did last time, this market's gonna, which is typical Bitcoin, go up to $600,000, then come all the way back down to 75,000 and scare the bejesus out of everybody again. I mean, but Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and I'm of the contention it's a great speculation. It'll never be money, it'll never be cash, and it's a lousy store of value except for the long run. If you're trying to store it, so it's a great speculation. But Bitcoin just remains the greatest speculation that's ever been invented, and its purpose is exactly what you've argued for years, and that is because it's the only asset that is unconfiscatable. And so, again, as long as we have that big, the most interesting thing about today's Darth Maul candle is it went right below last week's low, and that was it. We're in an uptrend, and that's why I measured the first. And I didn't have any orders down there because I didn't think there was any prayer we'd have that kind of a dip today. In fact, I bought it and got blown out. Say I bought the very first low, I caught the bottom, and then I added to it because I thought it was going to go up. And gosh, it was 5 minutes later, and I was completely blown out of the thing. But people that had their orders down below last week's low caught that spike, and I don't know who it was, but somebody was way over leveraged and got blown out. And I understand it happened mainly on Deribit. I'm not sure. I don't know what the major exchange.
So let me ask you this question, right? So to me, this Darth Maul candle happening in a place where it did is incredibly bullish.
I agree.
I see this as a very bullish move, and I would only be concerned if we start getting daily closes below $94,000. Otherwise, I see this as a very bullish move, and a lot of leverage bulls are going to be crying for the next 2 weeks because they don't have money to take advantage of what I think is a move, maybe not 110K, but I still think 106 to 110 is very possible, if not later this month, then next month. However, the most likely outcome for me is
Pull up the
let me go to
weekly.
a
Pull up the
4-hour
chart.
chart.
You're on. Pull up the weekly chart. Show the weekly chart.
I will in 1 second. For me, it's still the most likely outcome is more consolidation, a breakout in the middle of this month into Christmas, and then probably a pullback once again to the $100,000 area. I don't think we're going to sustain a 100K break this year, but next year, 120, 125, probably in Q1 is definitely likely. Here is the weekly chart.
That market did not take out the previous week's lows, but you can go to any of the other markets. You see how close it came?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the other markets,
Hey, Ugly, I'm losing some audio.
looking
I'm
at the
losing
monthly, are you on the
audio.
week? Oh, you're on the weekly, okay. Yeah, pull up. I don't know.
Hey, Ugly, see if you can change your microphone. I'm getting like a robot voice from you.
I don't know how to do it. Eddie's not here. I can't do it. So I don't have all this equipment. I don't use Telegram by myself uh, I don't use Zoom by myself. I usually have somebody here to set me up, and because I'm just on my personal PC.
Mexican internet. Oh man, comms. Hey, Ugly, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. I'm
Hey, yeah,
chopping up.
how's it going, man? Just wanted to say hi. I love you, man.
I'm doing okay.
Good.
It's rough right now, but I'm getting through it.
Well,
All
we're
right,
in-
so Ugly, are you long? Are you short? Are you in cash? What are your
I
positions
bought
right
it today and got stopped out. I bought the first low, and then when it crashed, I got all my stops were hit. So I took a small loss today.
now? Are you back in? Are you in cash now? Do you have any positions
No,
right
I'm
now?
just in cash. I have no position on today right now. I mean, like I say, the big winners are any. I did sell it yesterday, and caught a bit of the down move down. It was, to me, it was a bit scary, and I was looking to buy today, and did buy it, but it just it kept going down. So
Yeah, I entered at the end of trading day because I trade the ETF. I am doing it with options, but that doesn't matter. So I entered at the end of day today. Let me go to like a 1-hour chart. So I entered pretty much on the last hour of trading. I got in under 100K, closer to 99 in that vicinity towards the end of the market. And I was so surprised. That was supposed to be a dinner right now. I am super surprised that this occurred after market closed. But I still think that tomorrow we're going to be above 98.
yeah, and like say, the market that you're in didn't reflect that spike at all. The spike happened when the market you trade in was closed. I hope you realize that.
Mm-hmm.
By chopping up again.
I
Say
hear you
again?
loud and clear.
Hello. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to get off, and I'll try and get back on with my phone. Maybe that'll work better.
No, that's all right. I think we're going to be wrapping up this stream at this point. I may still have time to go grab a dinner. It's 7:30 where I am, and it doesn't look like anyone else is going to be coming on. I'm chatting with Socrates, but he's got dinner plans as well. Oh no, he's gonna hop on for a few minutes. Okay, so yeah, Socrates will jump on for a few minutes. So maybe we'll keep it going a little bit longer.
Miércoles. Okay. Sorry, I got interrupted you.
All right. Let me go to a low level chart. Joe, you want to pull anything else up on your charts?
I was actually there's something I can bring up just to keep the conversation going here. There is a little bit of an anomaly I find, which it's not quite an anomaly here, but if you notice, I have a setting here that shows you where the buy walls were and when they were pulled, right? You can see there's varying these little green lines and these little red lines. That'll show you where an order was placed in the book. And you can see, for example, this one was probably at like 2,000 flat or something. And you can see it was pretty consistent, and it was the largest order in the vicinity, and it stayed that way for quite some time. Second, we got back into play. A couple buyers chased the book. Let's zoom in here and really take a look. You can see that some of these guys were getting eaten. Some orders were getting filled. Very thin line here, didn't get touched. So the problem is some of these guys were here to play in the 100K range. But I think if you bought up here, you're probably going to be underwater for a little bit. A lot of these guys, especially these big dudes, these guys were spoofers. You got a lot of spoofers upholding the market, and they were pulling their orders. They made everything look real good, and you can see that the second price ran away, these guys pulled their orders, and just there was no liquidity to fall back into. So there was on the sell side, and it remained pretty consistent through whatever attempts we made to get back up there. This wall got eaten. This wall stayed, and then it got pulled out. Another pull. This guy pulled out 5 minutes before we started to crash. So the first guy here pulled out about 50. Wait, this is a 5 minute. Yeah. So this guy pulled out about 20 minutes before the crash, and then the next guy pulled out 5 minutes before it. So I think there's a little bit of tomfoolery going on in the order book, a little bit of spoofing. That's just the kind of stuff we would expect to see here. So yeah, I just, it's a good time, it's an exciting time, but I think a lot of this is this is the time where people like to have fun, and if you've been trading all day every day and you have a ton of money, this is one thing that I have noticed in markets, is that some people will play these little spoofer games. And holy cow, man, Tyler, it's so good to see you. I'll stop screen share now unless anyone has a question about that spoofiness or anything going on with that. Nice. Tyler, say something.
Howdy, how's it going?
Yo, dude, so good. Excellent to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Dude, I know.
Good.
Same to you, man. Same to you.
I appreciate it.
Good as ever. Damn, dude.
Ugly, you got a full-blown beard going. Damn.
Ugly.
He's gonna be Santa Claus.
Oh.
All right, Socrates, you want to show some charts from your end? What are you seeing? But let me catch you up real quick. So far, there's been consensus of almost everyone that's come on this stream today that this Darth Maul candle is incredibly bullish. It knocked out a bunch of longs. The closing at 97K was, remains in bullish territory. The weekly candle is still pretty clean. And in my view, as long as we are not closing multiple daily candles below 94K, this is just continued consolidation. When I exited my trades on November 22nd, calling a top, I expected a correction or a consolidation for the rest of the year. I left open the possibility of breaking 100K, but I didn't think 100K would be sustained. I had almost given up on that view late last night and this morning. I am currently positioned in a long trade, and I remain in that long trade. I'm still confident that we are more bullish than bearish, but at the same time, I think that if we do rally to the upside again, we're going to have a similar style crash. But the rally would need to be closer to 110 before any kind of crash. So I am leaning bullish here. And I think this candle is just a shakeout, and I'm still expecting 98K tomorrow. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I think agreeing with basically everything that you said. Outside of if we do find a nice bottom here, I wouldn't really be looking for another shakeout too soon. We had so many longs liquidated today on that move that happened so quick. If anybody was watching the charts, it probably just remembers what it's like when there's high volume wicks below lows that immediately get gobbled up and reclaimed kind of with a really nice bullish wick. So yeah, I'm with you. I think that candle just provided a lot of fuel for another big leg to the upside. And there's a couple other things that I'm looking at. So yeah, I'll go ahead and share some charts here. Let's see. Not sure if you guys have talked about the sort of fractal, the daily kind of candle fractal that been looking at here. What I've got pulled up is the first time that we ever tested $10,000. We have an eerily similar daily candle today that we had back in November 29th of 2017, where we made this really sharp move above 10,000, really pounded through it. Looked like it was just going to take off, but instead it just reversed sharply, suddenly, violently, and closed below that critical psychological number. Spent one more day flirting with it, closing below, and then it was off, and made very big move from there. So if we just kind of go back to what today's candle.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that you mentioned that, because earlier today I was literally looking for that candle because I talked about it on a stream like multiple weeks ago, and then I tried to find it, but trying to find a specific candle on a live stream is impossible, right? So I'm really glad you brought it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at here. And to be honest, this dump here that happened late in the afternoon, for me, that kind of changed everything. If we didn't have this big long wick below and we just would have closed, like take that wick away, and we just have this shooting star above the horizontal, that would have been, I was really watching very, very closely this afternoon to see price close up in here, up in this wick range, so that we didn't have that really, really bearish candle. This changed everything because of how much money changed hands, how many longs were liquidated, how fast it happened. These Darth Maul candles, they happen in my experience, in bull runs, and they happen right before big moves. They happen to, they have the effect of shaking out longs, and they also have the effect of trapping in bears, and it provides a lot of fuel for the upside. These Darth Maul candles, I don't think anybody's heard anybody talking about them for a while, and that's because we haven't really been in a strong bull trend. When we get in these bull trends, these candles happen regularly, and I view them as very bullish. So that is, on the surface, it looks like it could be very bearish, this price action, but underneath the surface, under the hood, I think that it's really putting us in a really strong position to hold these lows and continue higher going into the end of the week. I really, really want to see this weekly close above 100K. That would be a great signal of strength. Like, that's pretty much what I'm going to be waiting for, is the weekly close. There's plenty of time for it to move back above 100K. Let's go ahead and just take a look. So yeah, wanting to see it close above this moving average, this blue moving average. That would be confirmation that the trend is continuing. If we don't close above that, then that's telling me time to look for exit, at least short term. So I'm going to be paying very, very close attention, on the edge of my seat, for that weekly close. As long as it's up above 100,000, it's all systems go. If it's not, well, it's going to be maybe like the canary in a coal mine, sort of like starting to tell me, like, all right, time to really consider your positions and that sort of thing. One thing that was great today, I came within an inch of getting stopped out on half of my position. I use MSR on the 1 hour and 4 hour to manage just half of my position for each signal. This sharp move down here, if it would have stopped at 91.4, if it would have gone $500 lower, just a wick below 98, that would have stopped me out and made me exit half of my long, which I have been holding since about 73. So it would have been a nice profit, but it's not something I'm wanting to take right now. I think there's still plenty of juice left in the orange or in the lemon, and that I'm hoping to be able to squeeze a lot more out of this trend. It's a very, very strong trend. And I am really happy that this pulled up short of where I would have gotten stopped out. That's a great, that's another thing that I really like about today's price action that could have kind of start to put me on the wrong side if we bottomed right here and I had to sell and then wait for like 106 to get reclaimed or something. So that's still looking nice and strong. We can take a look at the 4 hour. Didn't even reach the beach, so that's a little front run of the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. As soon as it didn't even really take out this low here. So there was a lot of demand that quickly gobbled up those liquidations, and now everything would be invalidated for me if this low gets taken out. When you have liquidations that happen sharp and fast, and you only have minutes to buy them, that's a price that should hold going into the future. And if it doesn't, it's really a big signal of a shifting in the tides or a potential top. So as of now, I think I'm still all systems go, full speed ahead. Going into the weekly close, I see no reason why it should close under 100K. If it does, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Until then, I'm going to be expecting Sunday to close 6 figures, and that to be like the actual final breakout.
Awesome. Joe, any comments on what Socrates said? Oh, you're muted.
I actually really like the sound of that. Obviously, I've mentioned earlier, I think what's more likely is we go sideways. The book is shredded up to about 104 plus K. So for us to end a weekly candle at say above 100, I wouldn't say I'm quite bullish long term. I think it's more of a January thing for us to get above and stay above 100. But you know, obviously could be wrong. I like what I really like what Tyler has to say, pointing out some of these things, you know, and the similarity with the past. And again, on November 20th, we had a firing off of the gold mine, which in a bull trend, when we see a gold mine light off, which is a 5 to 10% band light up in the order book, massive amounts of orders are getting placed in areas that whales might get some wick fills. There's a lot of reasons to be bullish long term, and I think we're going to be bullish for at least a year from now, at least I would say. So I'm just thinking in terms of I guess I'm just being patient with my targets. Is it a perfect time to be excited about bullish behaviors in the market, and it's a perfect time for us to keep moving upward. So I guess I'm just being a little bit calm about it, despite that.
That's good. And I like what you said about the order book being shredded. That's something that I agree with, and kind of one of the main reasons why I think it's kind of like clear skies ahead. It wiped out both sides of the order book, leaving not much left to have to go through to make some really big moves in short amounts of time. And that's exactly what I think these Darth Maul candles do so well, is just clear out the order book on both sides. And then that just really paves a smooth path moving forward. I don't think there should be a whole lot of resistance like there was just a few days ago at around these prices.
Yeah, basically, just so you know, Tyler, the last bit of like heavy overhead resistance starts at 105K, and it's largest at 110 between 120K. Now it's so crazy for us to move through the ages of order book analysis, where back then the freaking, we were looking at $10 aggregations, and then Bitcoin would hit the 10,000s, and it was $100 aggregations and $1,000, and now we're talking about $10,000 aggregations in the order book. We're over 100K now, for at least a bit there. But yeah, there's about a 3,000 Bitcoin sell order between 110 and 120. So we're talking around $300 million of Bitcoin in that range. So I do think it's going to be tough to break. But everything is quite dynamic right now. There was a 2,000 buy wall spoofer above 100K yesterday night. I mean, it was fucking crazy. I love that stuff, man. Yeah, 2,000 buy wall spoofer, dog, and he pulled his order. So yeah, it's just it's fun. The book is shredded, like we said, and and everyone that's there is dynamic right now. I think this uncertainty is going to make it a little difficult for anyone to really commit. But obviously I'm surrounded by freaking professionals here that, you know, have positions locked in, or, you know, see things. So it's actually funny, you know. I'm so used to thinking about that everyone else that I'm so used to thinking of fidgety, you know, 11-year-olds that stole their fucking parents' credit card and bought some Bitcoin, and, you know, trading with the more money than their parents can afford to lose, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I like everything I'm hearing here. I think we're all on the same page. We're all very bullish, and I think rightfully so. I'll look forward to you know, seeing these fucking perma bears get their accounts fucking canceled. Yeah, dude. So yeah, I'm curious. That's one thing that is also indicative to me of a bull market. I have people starting to hit me up. I'm freaking doing a Bitcoin trading lesson tomorrow with my friend all day. You know, it's about that time for people to say, hey, you know, what's going on with that scam tulip bubble that I missed the boat on at you know, 8K and 3K, and, you know, all those that consolidation of 2019.
Guys, let me jump in here because I think Ugly's phone's about to die and he's about to get off. I wanted to just point. He sent me this article about the Darth Maul candles, written 5 years ago in March 19th, 2019. And I pulled up the chart of that time period. And in that article, you talked about how you took profit right here at 4,100. This was a nice rally here back in February of 2019. And this profit allowed you to get back in. I don't really see a Darth Maul candle here on a daily scale, but at some point you were able to get back in, and you wrote that article on March 19th around these highs, right before the big rally a few days later. So you guys might want to check out that article. You can find it, or maybe I'll just throw it in.
I remember that article well,
Okay.
and I'm remembering it was a 4-hour Darth Maul candle in my mind. I could be wrong, but I remember reading that, and I remember it being a really big 4-hour Darth Maul.
All right, let's go and let me pull up the 4-hour then. And
Yeah,
let's see
there it is.
what we get.
Right on the right of your screen.
This would have been, yeah,
Just a little scroll, a little right. There it is, right there.
right there. There it is. There is that candle. So this candle was March 14th, and Ugly wrote the article on March 19th, a few days later. That's March 29th, March 23rd, March 19th was here. Yeah, that's enough time to put together an article. Yep, there's the Darth Maul candle. Good memory, man. Good memory.
Can't believe I remember that.
All right. Ugly muted. Any final words before your phone dies? I can unmute you. Hold on. Let me see. I hope I can unmute you. I can't unmute you, actually. You got to do it yourself. Sorry. But yeah, I threw the article in the video description. Check that out. All right, guys. Unless there's any other comments, anybody want to jump on screen share? I don't really have much else to say. Let me go back to this 1-day chart and look at the short term on the 1 hour. The 1 hour is looking strong. We're almost at 98 again. We broke the last hour's high. I am going to go back to screen share on my side. Another hourly MRI top. I'm going to drop this. Hourly MRI top worked out, MRI buy, sorry. I mean, the low came in on the candle prior. And here's your MRI buy. We've been up, well, since the warning candle, the prior MRI buy did awesome, and the MRI buy before that did awesome as well. So these hourly MRI buys have been absolutely great trades. As far as the 4-hour is concerned, we had one. There's been one MRI buy on a 4-hour. I know Socrates loves the 4-hour. We had one 4-hour MRI buy. I don't know, Socrates, were you watching this? I know you like the 4-hour with your MSR. And did this MRI buy on a 4-hour influence your trade in any way? I'm just curious because it's the only 4-hour MRI buy we've had for a month and a half. I gotta go all the way to November 1st on a 4-hour chart to find an MRI buy.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I didn't have that indicator on my chart at the time. I wish I would have noticed it. I wouldn't have affected my trading, but it's something that's I like keeping track of. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like the 4-hour so much is the infrequency of signals. MSR will give a signal on average about once every 6 weeks, and that really allows helps prevent getting chopped around and over trading, and it also gives a good amount of time for these big swing moves to occur. So yeah, that's beautiful. I love those, especially when they're not occurring too frequently.
All right. Any other comments, guys? Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream. I've been waiting. Matt texted me, but I was gonna wait for him to come on, but it doesn't look like he's gonna be able to jump on. Let me tell him we're about to log off.
He was just in the comments. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just happy to see Tyler, man. Happy to see Ugly.
Yeah, wow, feels like the good old days again, huh?
I know, right? Like, dude, we've all been kind of doing our own thing, but I guess we got to get back into it. Yeah, Tyler, I missed you, man. We got to talk. I got to call you. We got to talk about the fights, man. John Jones came back and
oh man,
No.
be looking forward to that. There he is. We can hear you now.
we can hear you, Ugly.
You can hear me?
Yep.
We got
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm on my phone. It's about ready to die. I don't know how to use this high tech stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so I didn't know if it was me muting or Tone was muting me, but yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have a very bullish year. If we do anything, kind of check that article out. Check that gap that we made on the CME back in 2020. If we repeat the pattern, I think we'll eventually fill that gap, but we can run up a 90% correction, take us to 800,000, and then we come back to under 80, and that's typical for Bitcoin. So everybody will be super bullish at 800,000, thinking we're going to 1 million, and then we'll crash 90%. So
Speaking of crashing 90%, right? So Bitcoin has not been crashing as badly as in prior cycles, but now we have the Bitcoin spot ETFs that are going to dump Bitcoin on the market. Are you expecting, if we do, they're going to help drive Bitcoin up? So it's possible this cycle would actually resemble 2017, where the price can go over 500,000. And are you expecting just a complete bloodbath on the back end, potentially causing an 85 to 90% correction? Is that your outlook, Ugly?
Yeah, because what we have going on right now with Trump, I call it Bitcoin crony capitalism. I mean, Michael Saylor's making all the right arguments, but the problem is, he's for regulation. Basically, they want to be in partnership with the government. They think everything has to be regulated. They don't understand how a free market works. And so they'll run it up with Bitcoin cronyism, and then somebody's going to blow out. And I hope it's not Michael Saylor, but something's going to happen, just like it happened with the FTX thing. Nobody sees it coming, and they can't believe it will ever happen, because I guarantee you, if we're 600, a 90% correction, the market can go up to 800,000 and then have a 90% correction, and it just comes back to those gaps. And
that's Bitcoin, guys. That's why you dollar cost average. If you're a trader, you just trade a small. Just be a small trader. Small traders can become large traders, and the wise large trader chooses to become a small trader again. I just know so many people, and I do it myself. I mean, you get the King Kong complex. You think, oh man, I got this all figured out. And I didn't look for this today. I bought that thing and just and got I didn't have any orders and I teach, hey, buy the first break below the previous week's low. We went down there, but if you didn't have an order price down there, you didn't get it, and you're not going to get it now. I don't think we're going to go back down there. But we cleaned everybody's whistle. This is what you need to do to take the market back up, and that's what we should do. Everybody that bought the breakout got wound up sucking hind tit again. So, and everybody's whistle got cleaned. And I was, like I said, I shorted it yesterday. I was short, but got out. I didn't see this coming, and you never do when something like this happens. Whenever I have an order price below the previous weeks, it never goes down there. So it didn't have any today, and it went down there. It's great. Bitcoin just
cool,
crazy.
guys.
The whole different world. Okay, it just is a different world. It's not money. Okay, and it's not going to be ever cash. Now you can use it as cash, just like you can use gold as cash. But people don't understand, when we were on the gold standard, gold was never used as cash. Gold substitutes were used as cash. Banknotes were created, which was a good. The most tradable commodity is money. And right now, the most tradable commodity in the world is the U.S. dollar. I'm here in Mexico, and the most tradable commodity is the Mexican peso. But wherever you're at, it's the most tradable commodity. Now, during the gold rush in California in 1849 to 52, the most tradable commodity was gold. And it was, it cost you a couple ounces of gold to buy a pound of coffee. You couldn't buy shovel. And so that was the most tradable thing. You couldn't trade coffee or Levi's or tents because they weren't there. So I got that from Aaron Sapopalekue. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But he basically has taught me the last couple of years that, hey, money is the most tradable commodity. Bitcoin's a great asset. Okay, you want to hodl Bitcoin, but don't get fooled into thinking that somehow it's going to take over the world as money, because it won't.
All right, thanks for the comments, Ugly. Just as we're about to wind down the stream, Matt McGregor is joining us from Japan. He woke up. Matt, why don't you give us a quick view on the show? We got 10 minutes. I'm gonna end the stream at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You guys are welcome to, of course, stick around, ask questions. You slept through this move. I'm assuming you had a long trade when you went to bed. I'm assuming that trade stopped out. So tell us how your trade went, what happened, and did you have an alarm set? Well, how did your night go?
Good morning, everybody. What a pleasure it is to be here in such an illustrious group. Thank you so much. I didn't have a trade on last night. If you recall from the show, I did 2 trades all the way up. Hell, I'll go into the charts, eh? I'm just coming to terms with this right now. I haven't. This is the first time I'm really having a look. Just woke up. I'm glad I slept through it. What did you Americans do last night? The Asians, we tried hard to bring it up, and you brought it back down. All right, let me get me bearings. All right, 4-hour time frame, and I'll turn on. This is really cool. I didn't know you guys were live. I sent this to Tone. This is my indicator, alphanumerics, and Tone's indicator. Daily time frame it was. Cool. Look at this. Look at this. What happened last night? We came all the way down and banged on to the dollar, almost to 30 simple moving average. But then we closed the day above the 7 simple moving average. So I don't know what to make of that. I mean, that's just really good buying if you were able to rebuy off the 30 simple moving average. But I certainly didn't. I was long from, now I'll have to try and remember it. But I caught the whole the crux of this move up, and I got out at 102 something or other last night. And I said in the show, look, if we start to break above that area again at 103, I'll start to get interested again. Otherwise, I want to see what's going to happen in the US markets. And particularly, that's why I closed the trade, because I wanted to see if America would say, no, no, that's too high, we're cashing out, or they would play their part and kick the market on. And they chose their side, and I was lucky to be out of the market at that time. But like now, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen today. It's the way that yesterday's candle played out. I'm leaning on the side that this is going to get a full blown recovery throughout today, perhaps because that great response off the 30 simple, and then to close above the 7. So for me, we're still above every moving average on the daily time frame. There's nothing to worry about. The price is fantastic, and you can get another bite of the cherry. In saying that, I really like the structure as well to get long because I can quite clearly define where my stop loss would be. If the market decides, well, we've had enough, we're topping out for a bit. The thing that I've been watching as well has been Socrates' EXA. And forgive me, just let me know, Soc, have you already spoken? Did you do some TA on the EXA?
No, I did not. I didn't bring that up, but it is
man,
very critical on the weekly and the daily right now for sure.
Right. And I bring this up probably more than you do. I'm gonna have to send you some royalties for this, but I always shout you out. This is on the weekly time frame right now, the EXA, and you can see it's now crossed. However, it was crossed earlier this week, it was crossed last week, and it was crossed, I think, the week before. And it keeps repainting. It crossed here, 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 and then the move rallied, and it kept repainting back uncrossed again. And we spoke about in last night's show, it was nowhere near crossed in last night's show. So, and I said in the show, at one point, this is going to cross, okay? And when it does, I'm expecting at least at a minimum consolidation for some time, right? And it can keep going up higher and higher indefinitely, obviously, and it can keep repainting. But when it does finally cross, I'd be interested in raising a bit of cash. So it is now crossed once again with 3 days left in the week. When's this thing finally going to cross? I don't know. But all the other, and I also mentioned in the show last night, sorry, just to recap, but you guys definitely didn't watch it. Hey, so you and I did a show together a few weeks ago, and we talked about how if Bitcoin goes into a hyperwave here or a parabolic move, that your oscillators are the first thing you throw out, right? That these oscillators can run on. Don't just look for your, EMA, not, extensions and your RSI over extended periods and whatever. They can go blown out, completely blown out. So, do you still think that we're in that this correction means nothing? We didn't invalidate any of your hyperwave theories, Soft? Is that what you
Yeah, we're well away from the trend line. We would have to basically break down at this point 85 or so to break down the hyperwave phase 3 trend line. So that's still in full force, and I would expect if this EXA does cross, that's when I would expect it to return to the trend line and take maybe 4+ weeks of doing so. And that's actually why, for me, it's so important to close this week above 6 figures, because if we don't, that EXA is going to be given a really strong sell signal that would be a signal to take profit, not go short. And yeah, we would basically it'll like you mentioned, it'll cross and recross intra-week. The only thing that matters is the close. Once the close happens, you either have the cross or you don't. And if we can close above 100K, we're going to be in a really, really strong position to break out, and that thing will recross back, no problem. And something else about the oscillators that I do keep in mind during big parabolic moves is that the biggest moves happen when the oscillators get really overbought. They kind of can get stuck in overbought territory, and just a little move in that EXA up can have a big move in price. So that's something that it's in a position to really melt up if we can continue to refuse those crosses and keep closing the weekly higher. But it's a really, really fragile when it gets that high, to where if we don't keep moving, it's going to signal exhaustion, and definitely something to pay attention to, specifically on the higher time frames, daily, weekly, monthly.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. And I went back and had a bit of a look at it as well live on the show, not last night, a few weeks ago. That it doesn't necessarily even mean we have to experience downside as well. It can go
Yeah.
it comes on as like it'll cross over bearish and then at times go into like a 3 month consolidated range of a
Yeah.
few $1,000, you know. So that's still a great time to not be in. Do you know what I mean? As well. So I don't mind that at all. I'm just looking at the 4 hour now. I'll get ready to wind up. Look, it isn't exactly as a doji would look on a daily or a weekly time frame here. Of I don't know if it's going to go higher or lower here, but this is again interesting trading that we came all the way down and then closed back above the 50 at the cluster of the moving averages here. I really like it for upside. I think that that's a great flush out, and my phone was blowing up this morning, but I love this volatility. It's fantastic. We get another stab at it. Brilliant. 15-minute time frame. We could be rounding off now. We get above the 200 here, and this rounds back over. I'd be really interested at 98 getting long again. Why not? If this thing wants to go up, it'll be a great test to see if it just comes back to test the 30 and the 200 and then put another leg in lower. Then I'll look for lower targets. But as it stands right now, I think that we've got a real shot to recover from this. I'm coming off now. Bang box, the board is reset, obviously, so we can have another bite at that. All right, guys. I'm sorry if I retouched on any of the same things you went through. I'll have to go back and watch it.
All good stuff.
Look at that Arsenal behind Joe. You preparing?
Yeah.
for-
By the way, Matt, the price reversed at exactly 10 a.m. this morning. Like the high was made at exactly 10 a.m. and it reversed from there. And on our morning show, I said I was going to look to get back in after the 10 a.m. dip, and it just kept dipping and dipping and dipping. And I added a little bit to my position all the way at the end of the market day. So after we had already fallen below 100K, and like I said back on November 22nd, that 100K sustained break is going to be very challenging this year.
Yeah, and that was we both said the same thing in last night's show. That's why I closed at 102. There was a comment in last night's section. A guy was really happy from watching our show the day before because we called that. Well, I don't like to say we called, but we mentioned that this is what we sort of thought was going to happen when we broke out of that descending channel triangle, whatever we were in, and not to the price, not to the point, but we said that, and he said, "I took the trade, fantastic. I'm 25K up." And I said last night when we were about 102, 103, I said, "Dude, stick that 25K in your pocket." You know, he's like, "No, I'm going to ride it." I hope he took it. You know, I hope he took the advice. You know.
All right, guys. Unless there's any other final closing comments, I'm gonna shut this down. Well, I think we've been live for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. I don't even remember anymore. How long have we been live here?
William,
We're
everyone.
live for 2 hours. 2 hours. Okay, that's good. I may or may not go get some food. It is 8 p.m. where I am. And thank you for joining, guys. I think this was the most people we've had on a stream on a financial summit, like the old days on my channel.
Can we get a recap? Like, can I get an overall? Because I got to go back and watch 2 hours of show now. What are we bullish?
No,
here, or-
pretty much. Recap is simple. Everything I said in the beginning of the show 2 hours ago, everyone had confirmed that this is a massive shakeout. It's a daily Darth Maul candle, and there was two ways this was going to play out off of the high on the 22nd of November. Either an extended consolidation, a correction deeper than 90,000, or something like this. This was a $12,000 drop in a matter of hours, and it completely wiped out over leveraged longs, setting up the perfect environment for near-term consolidation and breakout to the upside in the near future. And this daily candle closing significantly higher than all the prior daily candles around it is definitely creating a higher swing low. In my view, unless the price start having multiple days of sub $94,000 closes, we don't have much to worry about from the in terms of the bull market continuing.
Good. I'm glad I didn't jump on the show in the last 10 minutes and say the opposite to you gentlemen. So that's great.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your contributions. Thanks everybody for watching. I think we broke 500 live viewers or so on this channel at one point. I saw like 450, so I'm assuming we hit 500. And see you all, well, my morning and Matt's evening in about 12 hours.
Thank you,
Good on
Tone. It was great.
Yeah. What a meeting here.
Bye,
Thanks
guys. Good seeing
Cheers,
you
everyone.
again, Ugly.
for seeing you, everyone.
Thaw, Joe. Good seeing you guys.
Peace.